World War I was a struggle for everyone involved. Many new fighting strategies were invented during the war, including something called trench warfare. Trench warfare essentially involved digging holes in the ground and hiding in them while they fought. It was incredibly brutal on the soldiers and has often been remembered as one of the most violent and just awful strategies of fighting.
It was first used in World War I during the Battle of the Marne in 1914. It was between France and Germany and lasted a few months. Germany was trying to take control of Paris, the French capital. They had a plan for winning the entire war called the Schlieffen Plan, which called for defeating France as quickly as possible. Unfortunately for Germany, France defended Paris very well and drove the German army away. Germany didn't want to give up the land they had already captured, so they dug trenches so they couldn't be pushed away. The battle raged on from there, with neither side making any real progress. France was eventually determined as the leader because they'd managed to defend their land.
Germany did experience some victory during the war, like at the battles of Tannenberg and Masurian Lakes in August and September of 1914, respectively. These battles were fought against the Russians, who tried to invade Germany. Russia lost much of their equipment and ammunition in these battles, which spelled trouble for the Russian offensive. They never really recovered from the battles of Tannenberg and Masurian Lakes over the course of World War I.
Another Central Powers victory saw the British Navy facing Turkey in the Gallipoli campaign. The Gallipoli campaign was a plan by the British to take Turkey out of the war, since they were the least stable Central Power and would be easiest to defeat. Unfortunately, the Dardanelles were filled with mines. This, of course, foiled the plan and alerted the Turkish to British designs on their defeat. By the time Britain had regrouped to attack, Turkey was ready and repelled their offensive. This was a blow to Allied morale and was a major factor in Bulgaria joining the war.
Another example of a trench battle is the Battle of the Somme. A British general desired to make progress against the Germans in trench warfare, which was experiencing a stalemate. He instructed British forces to push into German trench zones. The Germans were prepared, however, with machine guns and barbed wire, so the British lost a lot of troops, although they did manage to push back the Germans a significant amount.
Germans were again defeated at the Battle of Verdun, in which they attempted to take the French city of Verdun. Verdun was long believed to be a major point on the map, and the Germans believed that if they took Verdun, they would win the war. Unfortunately for them, they failed to do so, because despite the fortresses surrounding the city being weakened as the French stripped them for supplies, they were strong enough to repel the considerable German forces.
The U.S. entered the war in 1917 on the Allied side. They intercepted a telegram from Germany promising Mexico large bits of United States territory if Mexico entered on the side of the Central Powers. This, along with the unrestricted submarine warfare of the Germans, which led to the sinking of the Lusitania and subsequent loss of American life and trade security, brought America into the war. Not long after, Russia withdrew from the war, having lost public support and experienced a number of internal revolutions after their crippling defeat at Tannenberg and Masurian Lakes.
Trench warfare finally broke upon the invention of the tank, first used by the British in the Battle of Cambrai. Here, the British attacked Germany and broke through the German line. Unfortunately, here they faltered, meaning the war lasted after this, which should have been a deciding battle. The tank was a symbol of hope among the Allies, representing advancement and the possibility of victory.
The war officially ended in 1920, when all parties signed the Treaty of Versailles. This was the main of 5 treaties that ended the war, and is perhaps the most well-known. Germany was rather forced into signing, as the treaty mainly put the blame on the Germans and called for massive reparations to be paid, the military reduced, territory relinquished, and leaders of Germany were charged with war crimes.
Wilson also had 14 points he wished to be included in the treaty, though Congress and the European leaders disagreed. These were mainly comprised of desires of how post-World War I diplomacy should be handled, and called for open trade, self-determinism, over-the-table agreements, and the formation of a League of Nations. Due to dissent among Congress, when the League was formed, the United States did not participate. Congress believed the United States would be giving up too much power of decision if they joined.